If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NBA Player Performance on this Monday, February 3rd, 2025, the first Monday of February. We find ourselves here without J.A. Cavalier. Local sources suggesting he might be investigating one of the biggest trades in NBA history. Overnight on Saturday, Luke messaged me and he said, how about the trade? I'm thinking, De'Aaron Fox, maybe a couple role players, Luka on the Lakers. I'm blown away. I'm sure you guys in the chat are absolutely confused by this. Luke, we're here. We got a huge card, but let's open with this. Is this the most confusing trade in NBA history?
I think it's absolutely the biggest and most confusing. I mean, it's nuts. Please share your takes in the comments. We'd love to hear the back and forth. There's so many sides and angles to this. And I think, when we're talking as cappers, and we watch the games a lot, we really follow a pulse on the NBA really closely. And our take on this is kind of twofold. Maybe Shark can elaborate more, but it's so hard to see why the Mavs do this long term, because Luka has potential. He's pretty much carried this franchise to an NBA Finals appearance, a couple conference finals appearances, but they have serious concerns. I mean, I think I heard the rumor. I don't know if this is factual, that he is now the seventh highest weight in the NBA, of literal weight. He's almost 270 pounds. Don't fact check that. But I think that if that's the case, there's serious concern about his joints, his long-term health. The Mavs do short-term, though, I think get better. I mean, for maybe a year or two, their window here is definitely improved, potentially, with AD. Max Christie's an asset. It's just tough long-term to see it. So what are your takes here, Shark? And do you believe the lack of physical health, that long-term, that they're kind of banking on here?
Yeah, and just to answer our guy in the chat, NBA Big Shot, Jay did not get traded. He will be back tomorrow. We love you, brother. We're here for you. We got you, my guy. And just talking about this stuff, I mean, I just can't figure this out, because 25 for 31 is just not a correct trade. I don't care who it is. You should never be moving that type of player for a player 6 years older, no matter what the position or the environment. And it seems like there was a lot of clandestine meetings leading into this where nobody had access to this player. And it just blows my mind. I got to be honest. In my lifetime, I have really never been this confused over a trade. And we don't want to bog down on this, but I know a lot of people have been speculating for the last 36 to 48 hours. We don't know, but we do know. We got 10 games. We got a lot going on here. Trade deadline on Thursday. And, of course, the All-Star break next week. A lot of moving parts in the league. We think that's going to lean towards overs. And we're starting out in in Charlotte, Southeast Division. 2 bottom feeders, but we have a prop for you. It's a collaboration prop. Luke, we love this player. I got to be honest, I didn't watch him at Duke, but tonight, Mark Williams, points over 18.5.
I absolutely love this play. And I'm just going to make one last quick commentary on the trade that I think is the wildest part. You alluded to this a little bit, Shark, but nobody knew this was coming. I mean, on social media, you see players reacting live to it. You hear that LeBron and Luka both had no idea. I'm sure AD had no idea either, but it's so weird that nobody knew. It's just, that's what makes it extra shocking. Such a fun topic to talk about. Anyways, back to Mark Williams. Let's lock in here. I love over an 18.5 points. This is a quick, fun story. Shark and I go back and forth. He's starting to cap some props too, and because he's the dominant game shark, looking at the spreads and totals. But he's helping get into the prop market here too lately. He texted me this morning. He goes, "Hey, I'm looking at a prop. I have one prop I really love. What is it?" And before anything, I say, "Is it Mark Williams?" And he goes, "Hell yeah." We were both looking at the same prop, same player take here, and it's for good reason. Mark Williams, his line is so far above his average. He's averaging 15 points per game on the season. His line was at 18.5 when we took it and opened this morning, and when I posted it. for VIP. It's now up to 19.5, and I still like it at that line. Analytics have him projected for 20 plus tonight. And I'll let you, to have your take on this too, Shark. But he's facing a Wizards lineup who has no good interior defense. Their last few games, they've allowed guys to go off at the center position really efficiently. I think Gobert put up 16 points. He doesn't normally score a lot. Jackson Hayes was 4 for 4 from the field from the Lakers. He doesn't score a lot. So it's a great matchup here, and just his playing time. So Williams has faced the Wizards twice this year. He scored 16 and 16 points both times. And he only played 19 minutes and 26 minutes. Tonight he's projected for well into the 30s because he's averaging over 30 minutes a game. If he can have anywhere near that efficiency, his number is gold here. We love this spot. The book says it all. Take Mark Williams over 18.5. And for the record, that is a VIP play given out for free to tip off this show. We wanted to start it hot.
Without question. And as Luke mentioned, he and I were talking this morning, and we connected on this without even planning it. This is the top play of the board. And as you mentioned, on Friday, we had Jackson Hayes to go over points against Washington. Mark Williams is significantly more advanced in his offensive game than Jackson Hayes. And that's why this line is so high. And as Luke mentioned, let the line tell you the story. This guy's getting significant minutes, 32.5 minutes per game, last 7. He's only 23. He went to Duke, but he's a prototype. 7 foot, 240. You're sitting here talking about Luka being 270. Well, this dude's 30 pounds lighter, and he's 6 inches taller. We love him tonight. He's going to shoot over 60% from the field. In the previous 2 games where he did score 16 in each, he was 15 for 23 from the field. That is 65%. It is our top play. We're here on a Monday. You guys know what I like to say. Mondays are for momentum. Take this one with us. It's a free play. It's also a VIP play. Let's dominate. Staying within this division, out of division, Hawks traveling to the Pistons. Interesting game here tonight. You find the Hawks incomprehensibly 0-8 straight up last 8. They have a young team. They're trying to reboot around Trae Young with a top pick from last year, Zachary Richasset, or something like that. Shout out to the French marketplace here. However, at some point, they're going to win a game. And if they were going to win a game, in my opinion, it would be tonight. Detroit's in a terrible spot. Detroit's on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back. They played yesterday against Chicago. They beat Dallas on Friday night, which we had officially on the VIP card. For those of you guys that haven't signed up yet, please sign up in the link below. We have 4 plays tonight. But this is where Detroit is going to struggle. Their next game is against Cleveland. They're fatigued tonight. They have a look ahead, and Atlanta's in a revenge game. Atlanta's also 9-5 ATS at the Eastern Conference. And even though they are 0-8 straight up last 8, they are actually 3-1 ATS last 4. So they're actually trending up ATS. And that does usually lend itself towards a win. Top lean in this game for me, Atlanta +4. Luke, any prop angles in this game?
Yeah, nothing that's going to be necessarily correlative, but I'm going with a Hawks player. And actually, let me quick hit in the comments here. Appreciate you, MHT, whoever you are, said, Luke's the GOAT. I know you're a loyal follower. I do have to address Dario Jimenez in the comments. You said Propmaster sucks. I honestly would love to see what you're talking about because I have our record pulled up right here. You probably can't see it, but plus 273 or 283 stars the last week. We're 50 and 29. That's a 63% hit rate. So if you're not making money with us, you might be doing something wrong in terms of bankroll management or not following the system, which is literally the most important thing when it comes to what we do. So again, I'm not here to boast saying I'm the best prop player ever, but if you're doing what we're doing, you're making money. So please, Dario, hit me up if you're not making money. Something's not making sense there. All right, back to this game. My lean. You actually said his name, Shark. Funny enough, Zachary Richasset from France. I'm taking his rebound total actually tonight to go over 3.5. It's a little bit low. It's a nice buy low spot in a game where I think there should be enough misses. And they don't have Clint Capella playing, so it's a smaller Hawks lineup. And he's been rebounding pretty well lately. He has games of 4, 7, and 5 in his last 3 games. Averages 3.5 on the year. I just think it's a really nice buy low spot for a guy that's 6'8". I mean, he can grab boards. I think he should at least get to the 4 mark tonight. The analytics love the over here, so that's my lean. Risa Shea over 3.5.
Yeah, so top lean for me in this game, it is NBA player performance. We give you a look on every game. If you want our top plays, please sign up in the link below. 75% off introductory month for myself and Luke. Also a promo. Keeping it moving here. National game, Houston at New York. Tough game tonight. You want to watch this game? In terms of betting it, to be perfectly honest, I'm having a hard time figuring this one out. This is your classic spot where you're finding 2 playoff teams with basically the same record playing each other on a tight line where both teams are coming off of a terrible effort before. The Rockets lost outright to Brooklyn at home over the weekend, and the Knicks got crushed by the Lakers on Saturday night on national TV. That was my top VIP play on Saturday night. Again, please sign up below. Luke, I believe you have a promo and an official in this game.
Burnsy, hit the promo. Awesome. Gotta love the Puppet Master theme for the Prop Master. Appreciate that. Like Shark said, we have a link in the description below. It's just our deal for the guys that watch the podcast. $100 per month. Typically, a month is $299, so you're getting about 66% off. So go ahead and sign up or DM me. I'm on the DMs all day on Instagram and Telegram, so feel free to reach out. I'm happy to work with you. Guys in the comments probably know that. I'm happy to help. Pick for this game. This is an official free play for me. I know the game is kind of hit or miss on the line. It's hard to find value, like Shark said, but I'm going Karl Anthony Towns for the Knicks to go under 13.5 boards. Of course, Towns, yes, he's a rebounding beast. He's ranked 2nd in the NBA, 13.6 rebounds per game. Drool over those stats, that's fine. At surface level, it looks like maybe you take the over here, because what did he do in their first game? 19 rebounds against the Rockets. But I'm here to tell you that was a bit of an anomaly statistically. When you actually dive in, the Knicks had only 39 rebounds as a team. That means Towns' rebound percentage, he accounted for 49% of the team rebounds. Just absolutely astronomical. You never see that. Total outlier. On the season, he averages about 26% of their team rebounds. I just don't see him doing something like that again tonight. And his splits are worse at home games and on Monday night games specifically. I don't look too much into those splits, but it does help the trend. If anything, I think it's a physical game. I think they try to keep Cat off the boards, and I don't love him to have a huge night tonight on the rebounds. So take the under 13.5 rebounds.
Yeah, I think when you're playing the Rockets, just to begin with, the unders are generally a good look. This team plays elite level defense. They want to slow the game down. This game is just going to be difficult tonight. You got a lot of injuries. Alperen Şengün is out. He's 1 in 1A, one of the best players of this team alongside a young Jalen Green. And the Knicks, OG Anunoby, I believe, is out. I think Josh Hart is questionable. As we said when we introed the show, we're in an interesting environment here. There's a lot of injuries. This is the trade deadline. There's going to be new rosters across the league, and we're going into the All-Star break next week. So we're treading lightly, but not so lightly. We still have 4 official plays tonight on a 10-game card. Keeping it moving here. On the topic of trades and difficulty, Spurs tonight playing the Grizzlies. This is a game you would want to bet almost every day of the week because it's a divisional game, it's a rivalry, and the numbers almost always tell us a great story. However, Ja Morant is hurt. Desmond Bane just got listed out. I didn't know he was hurt. I was watching him yesterday. He looked pretty healthy to me. I don't know what happened overnight there. But you look at the Spurs integrating a major trade. De'Aaron Fox is going to uplift this team immensely. And I got to be honest, I'm excited for it. I love my guy Wemby. When he was playing chess in the park in New York, that it's not even basketball. I was like, that's my guy right there, just with the people on the street. You got to love Wemby, even though he's not even 21 or whatever he is. But the point here is De'Aaron Fox is coming over. He's not playing tonight. It's hard to read a team when they're in this state of flux. But, Luke, any prop angles on this one?
You kind of broke this game down perfectly. For those that actually watched the Bucks-Grizzlies game last night, at the end, Bane did come up hobbling a little bit. So he's not just sitting out for rest purposes. He actually didn't finish the game. He didn't play the last minute and a half. So I think he's kind of just dealing with it. I don't know if it was an ankle or a knee, but he tweaked something. Anyways, I'm going away from that. If I'm leaning anywhere, this game does not have great prop value. So I wouldn't force anything. But if you're looking for some action, if you're a Grizzlies fan, Spurs fan, or just, diehard prop better, I would go with CP3. So Chris Paul under 10.5 points. I love when his line's listed around 10.5, just because he's not a point scorer at this stage in his career. He'll shoot his 4 threes a game. If he makes 2 of those, that's fine. He can still go under this number because he averages just 9.5 on the season. Against Memphis this year, he's averaging 7 per game. Just not a spot that I love Chris Paul to go off. He has no reason to be shooting a lot in this game. So lean would be CP3 under 10.5. Anything else you got for us there, Sharp?
No, I mean, I'd love to give you guys an angle in this game. If I had a free play, if I was playing like a 10-team parlay for $5, I would throw Memphis in here. I think when you find a team that's trying to figure out a trade or trying to get a player to come in their lineup, probably the next game or the game after, it's just kind of it's a middle ground game. There's not a lot of energy. And I mean, you saw this yesterday with Dallas, obviously having moved Doncic. They gave up 91 points in the first half at Cleveland. It was one of the worst games of the entire season defensively in a half. I think it might have been number 1 worst for a team this year. So you want to fade these teams that are in the middle of a trade, and then you want to buy them later. Memphis without Desmond Bane and John Morant has not been entirely problematic. Jaren Jackson and these guys are real grinders. Taylor Jenkins, great head coach. We would lean towards Memphis here. Not a great game. Staying course here. The other side of this trade is also alive tonight and well, playing at Minnesota. Kings now without De'Aaron Fox, waiting for Zach LaVine to get to Sacramento and get integrated. This game is equally difficult for that precise reason. I have written down here on my sheet, ridiculous roster dynamics, and it doesn't stop with Sacramento. Tonight, Minnesota finds Anthony Edwards questionable. I'm sure he's just deathly ill on this Monday. Naz Reid questionable. Julius Randle is out for a period of time, as is Dante DiVincenzo. You saw this Minnesota group just lose outright over the weekend to Washington at home. Can they lose to Sacramento here? Probably. Luke, any props?
I don't have – some of these games are just tough in the prop market. I have a good lean, actually, but it's a juiced one. So this is not actually a prop bet I'd probably take straight up. But you could add it into a same-game parlay or a 2-man parlay if you'd like. There's big value on DeMar DeRozan under 1.5 three-pointers made. You just got to love that line. The guy averages just 0.9 made threes per game on the year. So you're getting a huge advantage. They boosted his line a little bit because he has been shooting more threes lately. But he's 0 for 3 last game. He doesn't shoot a lot. So, I mean, he'll only take maybe 3 attempts tonight. So if he doesn't hit 2 of 3, I don't think he covers. And he has no reason to against this T-Wolves roster where I think he's going to attack the rim because there's no De'Aaron Fox. So he's going to be the one dribble driving all game, hitting the DeRozan mid-range like he has all season. So give me DeMar DeRozan under 1.5 made threes. Throw that into a parlay or use it as you see fit. If you want to straight bet it, I think it was juiced like minus 180. But hey, we're here to give winners.
Yeah, and as I said, this game is just a really, really difficult handicap from an ATS or a total side. So Luke with a prop. I don't have anything for you guys on this one. And take that as a good thing because we're not forcing action on games that are just totally ambiguous. Staying course here, 8 o'clock in Oklahoma City. Milwaukee at the Thunder. This game, I got to be honest, this has gone so far off the grid here. It was supposed to be a rematch of the NBA Cup final, which of course found Milwaukee beating the Thunder in Vegas by margin in mid-December. Now all of a sudden, Giannis is out. The line is up to minus 15. The total is sitting at 226. I just can't continue to keep going with this where it's like every game has significant player movement in and out. They're not injured. Play ball. I mean, look, you're a fan of the Bucks. You live up there. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so you said it. They kind of ruined this game. It's supposed to be an awesome revenge game, and I was going to be all over the Thunder, and I was fading Giannis as my free play because he was just coming off a tough performance last night. It took a lot of grit, and so that was going to be a free play. Giannis under PRA. Everyone saw it. Probably I posted it this morning. That's now void, and now I don't have a prop that I love in this game. It's going to be a Thunder blowout almost certainly. So you don't know kind of the minute share that everyone's going to get. Very hard to predict. The only thing I see value on as the market's kind of shifting live time here, once the news broke, I'd actually take my lean. Again, do not put a lot of money on this because the game's hard to cap in general. But Brook Lopez, I would take over 14.5 points. His line jumped the most of anyone. And once the Giannis news broke, it went from 10.5 points to 14.5, well above the season average. You got to love the functionality of it there. I think Shark would agree with me. Just based on numbers alone, that's a solid play. He's going to get a bunch of threes tonight, and he'll get the ball in the paint because they don't have anyone else kind of down low. So no Portis playing. So if anything, Lopez is a good buy low here. Again, but an interesting dynamic shift here with the news.
Yeah, no, I think that comment about Brook Lopez is incredibly intelligent because I'm just recalling off the top of my head, in the past couple of years, in games where Giannis sat out, Lopez, put up 25 plus, I believe, at least once or twice. Now that I'm recalling, and again, this is off the top of my head, I think there was a game played between Milwaukee and OKC 2 seasons ago that Giannis didn't play, and it finished like something in overtime, like 133 to 131 or something like that. I don't know if you can pull that up while we're talking about it, but in terms of the disruption of this game, it's just unfortunate. We understand it's a 3rd and 4 back-to-back for Milwaukee. They played, a real, I would say, brutal, tough game, fourth quarter last night against Memphis. But still, Giannis is a gamer. More than other superstars, he's a gamer. He's fit. He has spent significant time in the gym. You see rookie pictures. The guy was very scrawny. Now he's incredibly, incredibly fit and strong. He could go tonight. It's just a disaster. The Thunder have in this window, even before they're the Thunder that we know now, which is clearly a title contender in 2025. They have shown the ability to completely annihilate teams like this. And our guy in the chat, War Spider, says Thunder by 80. Maybe not entirely, just hyperbole there. They did almost beat a team by 80, I believe, last year or the year before. I think they had one of the biggest wins in the last 5 years. I forget who they beat, but they might have been Memphis or something when Memphis had all backups. But they beat a team by like 80 points.
I think it was the Mavericks, wasn't it? Like one of the last games of the year.
No, it was the middle of the season last year. It might have been Memphis, but they annihilated them. They beat them like 150 to like 75 or something. And I was talking about this in the fall, I think, on one of the shows. And we were saying, it's like the old school Warriors before they won a championship, like when they won 72 games in the regular season or 73 games. Certain teams like the Thunder, before they've won a championship, they just care more about the regular season. And they're just going to.
I found this for you. Sorry, I had to find your gem. A really good memory. I don't know how you pulled this up. This was November 9th, 2022. Bucks Thunder, 136 to 132. They beat OKC. Without anybody playing. Javon Carter hit 36 points. Brook Lopez, though, to your point, 24 points. He shot the ball 23 times. So, lights flicker. There's actually probably really good value on Lopez's over tonight. I might almost upgrade that to an actual free play. Over 14.5 for Brook Lopez is really solid the more that I look at this. But great fun fact there.
I think it's a great look. And honestly, I think we could see a game similar to that. Maybe not in terms of Milwaukee beating them because that was a younger Thunder squad. SJ had not come to this point of his career yet. But even if this game gets out of hand in one direction, which of course it would lean towards the Thunder being that team that gets out of hand in the northward direction, I think this could still go over significantly. I think the Bucks don't really play a lot of defense without Giannis. They're on a back-to-back. It's going to be fatigued. And you guys see this oftentimes with teams like Milwaukee when they take Giannis off the court. The other guys are just shooters. They're playing a wide-open style of ball. I would be shocked if there were not over 90 field goal attempts on both sides of this game tonight and really kind of attract me. So A lot of conversation there. Unfortunately, Giannis is not playing. I wanted to see a full game here. And, of course, this game did open yesterday at -7.5 with the expectation that Giannis would play. Thunder have revenge. Thunder have been lackluster. They're actually 1-5 ATS last 6. They are the team that would cover this. They absolutely are. They could blow out a team by 75 here. So our guy makes a great point. We would only talk you onto the Thunder here. And keeping it moving, another blowout line here in Denver tonight. Ball Arena, Nuggets, Pelicans. Pelicans are on the upward path in recent history. 9-7 ATS last 16. However, I think this is where you want to buy Denver. Denver's coming home off a road trip. We've faded them multiple times on the road trip correctly because they did go 0-5 against the spread on that trip. So you sell Denver on the road consistently. You want to buy this team at home. They're 9-4 ATS last 13 in Denver. They constantly catch teams at altitude where they can just run them out of the gym and light them up for 135 plus. I think this game tonight is trending towards an over, and I do think Denver probably does get there on the number. Luke, any props in this one?
I actually love the over trend that you mentioned. All the props that I'm seeing, most of them are trending to the over having value. And so, yeah, I actually have a take I really like in this. So CJ McCollum, you guys know who he is, sharpshooter out of Portland, played for the Blazers many years. He's definitely finding his own this season, and he's dropped some bombs of games. If you remember, he dropped 50, then he dropped 45 a couple weeks later. He's had some huge scoring outputs, so I don't rely simply on his point total tonight. An unbelievable buy low value on his three-pointers made. They have his line at 2.5. I think sitting at like -130. Yeah, it's -130. That's not a big deal. Pay the juice for this because he averages 3 or more made threes on the season. Against Denver once this year, 4 of 10. He's going to get at least 9 to 10 threes looks tonight, and he's going to hit 3 of them. I don't really see any other way to bet this than McCollum going over, specifically with DeJounte Murray out, and particularly in a game where they're likely going to be playing from behind. I love McCollum to shoot the ball a lot tonight. Give me over 2.5 made threes for a value play for the nation.
Yeah, I like it. And, you know, one of the last games that Denver played at home, it actually might have been their last home game before the road trip. We did bet them, and we bet them correctly, -7.5. They covered against Sacramento, albeit close. I believe they won the game by 8 or 9 points after having a huge lead and trying to melt it in the fourth quarter. This is not a value side on the dog tonight. You want to buy Denver at home. You want to sense the strength of the number. Like, this is an interesting point of teaching, and I know Jay has been in the chat, and he wants to do a little of this educational stuff. And I will say this. Oftentimes in sports, people see a huge inflated figure, and they think to themselves, there's no way that team can beat this team by that margin. We're not saying every time it goes one way or the other, but the line is telling you that strength to the favorite here. They're not saying we're giving you all sorts of space and value on the dog. So keep that in mind. Top lean in this game, Denver -10.5. 9 o'clock in Utah. Not exactly a right home special here. Out of conference, Indiana at Utah. I have a top play in this game. It is my top game side of the day. And if you guys want to bet with us, I said it on Friday. I'll say it every day for as long as we're here in this beautiful life. Please sign up in the link below. It's $100 a month. That will increase as we go forward out of respect and power, nothing else. Bernsey, you got a hell of a track. Mondays are for momentum. Let them know a little bit. As I said, we got a top play in this game. Really like something in this game. You guys can guess. If you don't want to guess, sign up with us and let's dominate. Luke, do you have any thoughts on this game in terms of the prop market?
Yeah, I'll let your play. They got to buy to find your play. I'll give a lean here though, because I really do like it. Quick on a comment on people's questions in the comments. Someone said Suns willing to trade KD. You think the Heat can move Butler? At this point, let's keep the trades coming. I mean, who knows who's going to be traded at this point? We got the big names out of the bag. Let's just keep them coming. Jimmy's likely going to end up somewhere. And then, do you think CJ McCollum over 20.5 points? I do think that is my lean. If you're going to bet on the points market, but again, my official play on that is McCollum over 2.5 made threes. Try and bet that if you can with your book. Someone says Pacers easy money. I'm not going on a side here. My lean is Miles Turner for the Pacers to go under 16.5 points. Again, that's under. And the reason being, Turner's great. Turner can spread the floor for the Pacers. This game could be high shooting rate, high pace of play, all of that jazz. That's fine. No pun intended against the Jazz here. But I really think his under is a take because Lauri Markkanen is able to stretch the floor too. So Turner often takes advantage from the three-point line against centers that can't get out. Markkanen can. Markkanen's going to be able to get out there if he's matched up against him. I just think they can push Turner off the three-point line, and he's not as comfortable dominating the paint on offense. So I just think he gets less looks than normal, and the books agree with me here. So lean is under 16.5 on Miles Turner points.
Under Miles Turner, official play for me. Please sign up with us. It is all respect and power. Keeping it moving here. Another national game, doubleheader. Warriors hosting the Magic. Out of conference basketball, I got to say, not the easiest game to handicap. Orlando has looked absolutely terrible in recent history. Blown out at Portland by 29 points in a game I mistakenly bet. We always own our losses on this show and privately. -5.5, lost by 29. You guys kidding me? And then they come back over the weekend at Utah and get just blown out again, scoring 100 points, 113-99. At some point, this Magic team has to wake up. I mean, injuries have crushed this team. Banchero, both Wagners, Suggs. I mean, the list goes on. But this is a team that is supposed to be upstart playoff quality. I mean, at some point, it's going to flip the other direction. Maybe tonight. I don't know. But Luke does have a official for you guys in this game. Franz Wagner, under 35.5 PRA.
I am going that way, and it's not necessarily saying I'm not backing the Magic in general, because to your point, they're finally getting healthy. And actually, I think it's just this weird window where their starters haven't played together. Like, they don't have that team chemistry at this point in the season that most rosters do. Once they do, look out. Honestly, this Magic defense is elite, and they're going to make a postseason run. They're a really, really talented team. So look out Magic going forward. But in this game, Franz Wagner, under 35.5 PRA. That's PRA, that's points, rebounds, and assists. You can buy that line on most books as a combo stat line. He's a beast in the stat sheet. I think most of the public play here is going to be the over just because he's playing well coming back from his injury. But tonight I see a fade spot, and the numbers agree here. He's going against a top 10 ranked Warriors defense, and the Magic should have most of their lineup back, like I alluded to. Goga Bitadze, last time I checked, was expected to play. Jalen Suggs might be back. He's been questionable. I just think that Warriors with Steve Kerr's mindset are going to defend Wagner pretty well with their athleticism and quickness and force someone else to beat him. Wagner's averaged 39 PRA over his last 4 games, but the books show you the unders to play because they listed 4 PRA below that. Again, value on the under. I'm going fade spot, Franz Wagner, under 35.5. If it makes you uncomfortable betting his under, it's probably because it's the smart bet. Let's cash another one.
It's a great point. Something that I live by. It's not just NBA basketball. Get uncomfortable to get comfortable. You got to do hard things in this life to win, and that's what we're doing, and we love to dominate with you guys. Just a couple comments on this game. This is just really difficult to predict because, as I said, Orlando has to improve eventually, but the Warriors also have to improve. This team has been so mediocre since pretty much the first month of the season where they came out blazing hot and have had basically nothing since. Again, a lot of moving parts. Theme of this Monday, unfortunately, for a lot of these games, Jonathan Kuminga is still out. I mean, the guy's a budding, young, high-quality player, and Draymond Green comes back. I will say this. Oftentimes when a top player Draymond obviously not scoring the ball a lot, but he's very, very integral for this group. Oftentimes when they come back, the team takes time to integrate. Draymond's not that player. He's the cog in the system. He has basically facilitated this offense with the screen and roll and the whole three ball up top for a decade plus. When Draymond comes back, they get right back into their flow. This number is on the Warriors. I have Golden State to win by 6. I got to be honest, I don't love fading Orlando here, but if you guys want to bet this, our lean in this game numerically would be Golden State at 6. Final game of the card here, 10 o'clock in Portland, Suns at Blazers. This is a rematch of a game played over the weekend where Phoenix played a very poor basketball game. 108 points in a loss, 127 to 108. I have a top free play for you guys in this game, over 228 points. And when you start to look at this, out of all the games tonight where there's out of conference, there's trades, injuries, all sorts of stuff, this is the one game where the data is clear. This is the 4th matchup of the year between these two teams. They went under twice in Phoenix, 103-97 and 116-109. The previous game on Saturday did go over 226.5. Books have had a grip on this line. They projected 2 unders in Phoenix. That was a projection to an over on Saturday night. It went over, and now it's moved up to 230.5, which indicates another over. This is now at 228.5. And for those of you guys who tailed on Friday on the VIP card and on NBA player performance, we had Phoenix over at Golden State. A very similar environment where the line was scaling up in the 3rd matchup of the year. And I said, we have information. We know they're going to shoot the ball better. And sure enough, Phoenix lit up the Warriors for 130 points. And I'll tell you guys this. When Phoenix only scored 108 in the previous game, and they're in a revenge game against a Portland team that has been scoring the ball very well recently at home, Phoenix is going to jolt it. Portland will match. This projects to be a tight game, and this projects to be over 235 points. My top free play on this card, and this is a VIP play as well. Phoenix, Portland, over 228.5. Luke, thoughts?
I love it. I'm tailing that one 100% and love that you're giving out the VIP for free here on the show. So my lean here, it's not an official play, but I do think it's worth bringing up the prop market here in a game that's a rematch of, Saturday night. DeAndre Ayton, he's playing well against his former team. He gets up for the moment in this matchup when some games he really doesn't perform statistically. Saturday night, he went 11 for 12, 24 points, 7 boards. I mean, the man was a beast. And with your over projection, I'm actually taking his over again here on the PRA line. For a lean, it's 28.5, and the books tell you again they expect him to go over. His PRA average on the year is, I think it's like 20. I had this 26.1. They put it at 28.5, so almost 3 points above his season average. And again, that's signaling to you he's likely to get a good amount of playing time and touches in the paint tonight. Suns historically haven't had anyone guarding the post real well until this Nick Richards trade, as we've talked about a lot on the show. But give me Ayton over 28.5 PRA as a slight lean to wrap things up. And I'll dish it back to you here, Shark.
Yeah, that's 10 games. We say it every day. We're not lying. Data-packed analysis at a fast pace. We believe JA is coming back tomorrow. I was joking before. I think he's out in the West Coast investigating this Luka Doncic fiasco because nobody can make sense of it. But we have our plays of the day here on this Monday. Mondays are for momentum. Burnsy, play the damn track. Busta Rhymes, MOP, 90s hip-hop. We love it, and we love to dominate. Luke, what's your top play today?
Yeah, that has me all the vibes in the studio here bumping. So my top play of the day for free plays, I'm actually going with that first one of the day that we co-signed, collabed on. Give me Mark Williams of the Hornets over 18.5 points. If your book has it at 19.5, still take it. I love it. He's going for 20 plus tonight. Let's rock and roll. And Chris Lacasse, however you say your last name, sorry if I mispronounced. I appreciate you too. The love is mutual.
Respect and love. It is a lifestyle. My top play just discussed. We said it on Friday. Take the Phoenix over. We're doing it again. Let's cash it. Phoenix, Portland over 228.5. That's the show for today. NBA player performance on this Monday, the first Monday of February, for J.A. Cavalier and for Luke Shuey. I am the Shark. We love you guys. Let's dominate this card. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation.